Vasyl Lomachenko returns to form, becomes the IBF lightweight champion again by stopping George Kambosos in the 11th round. This was a shutout. Vasyl Lomachenko shut George Kambosos down easily, wasn't competitive. He outlanded him every single round. I can't remember if George Kambosos landed more than 7 or 9 punches a round. I don't know if he landed double-digit punches in any round. That's how one-sided this fight was. And Lomachenko, he hurt George Kambosos in the 11th round. He stepped through with a left hand, then stepped around, typical Lomachenko fancy footwork. And George Kambosos went down. The referee said, no, that wasn't a knockdown, so he stood them back up. Lomachenko pushed Kambosos back. Kambosos was wilting heavily. He landed a body shot. Kambosos went down in lots of pain, right in his corner, and the corner threw in the towel, and they said no more. Lomachenko got another stoppage victory at 36 years of age. Excellent performance. I expected this from Lomachenko, but credit where credit is due in terms of him looking like the master he was tonight, because George Kambosos, he is a good fighter. He is world class, but there's levels, of course, to world class, and Lomachenko is of the elite of the elite, and Kambosos is flat-footed, one-dimensional, poor defense. Everything I said in my pre-fight breakdown, where I expected Lomachenko to pitch a shutout, because I said George Kambosos has shown that if you A, give him angles, or B, fight at long range, he's not effective. He's very hittable. And those are two things Lomachenko is a master at. He is one of the last fighters of all time you want to fight if you don't like fighting at long range, because it doesn't matter whether you are taller than him, shorter than him, rangier than him, etc. Lomachenko will pick you apart, and that's what happened. From the first round, George Kambosos made it clear he was going to the body. And, that's easier said than done, but Lomachenko certainly felt a few body shots, but you have to be consistent. And like I said, because George Kambosos couldn't get close to Devin Haney twice, who was just playing a long-range game both times, I thought, well, how on earth is he going to get to Lomachenko when he starts doing his fancy footwork? And rhetorical question, he couldn't. He couldn't get close to him whatsoever. It was an easy night for Lomachenko. So hats off to the Matrix. He is one of my favorite fighters. I was happy for him to get another world title, so credit to him. Massive respect. Now looking forward, what is there for Lomachenko? Because it's a funny situation. You have Shakur Stevenson, who is with the WBC World Championship, and he is not happy with his situation with Top Rank. I've been looking at his Twitter, and he is very unhappy. He's reposting, or he's quoting Floyd Mayweather, who was very unhappy with his Top Rank deal many years ago. So it shows signs that he wants to leave Top Rank, and he's probably going to. He's got a fight in July, but he has said openly he wants to fight out his contract. You also have Bob Arum, who is pretty much openly saying, I would like to re-sign him. I know his contract is coming to an end, but, Shakur's his own man sort of thing. And here's what could happen. Lomachenko could be offered to Shakur Stevenson next, and Bob Arum could try and entice Shakur Stevenson to sign with him. Because what better way then to get someone to re-sign with you than to say, look, here's a great champion. If you beat him, you get the rub of the green. You take the spotlight. That could happen. If not, then maybe Stevenson will again maybe he'll be buried somewhat on obscure cards, I don't know, because Bob Arum is the type of guy who will try to, he won't do you any favors if you don't want to re-sign with him. And this is common in boxing, but Bob Arum is one of those petty individuals. So Shakur Stevenson, we'll wait and see what happens there. There is Emmanuel Navarrete, who is fighting Dennis Berinchik for the WBO vacant title. And, that's an interesting fight in terms of who the winner could fight. But we don't know when that's happening. At least I don't know. The other champion is Gervonta Tank Davis. He's fighting Frank Martin. Wouldn't it be something to see Lomachenko and Tank Davis finally fight? Because he's been calling for that fight for how long? And Tank Davis, maybe because he's out because he's out of his deal with Floyd Mayweather, it could happen, but I'm not holding my breath. So that's that situation. Then the lightweight division is stacked with talent. You have Frank Martin, who's fighting Tank Davis. You have William Zepeda, who is the mandatory for Lomachenko's bout. And I said in my pre-fight breakdown that William Zepeda should have been in this situation, or really Maxi Hughes should have been in this situation. So, because he beat George Kambosos and got robbed. So it's one of those situations where I don't feel Lomachenko was fighting the best guy for the bout. But nonetheless, these things happen. I mean, this reminded me of Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. A lot of people thought Regis Prograis lost his fight before that, and he was old, he was past his best, and style-wise, it was easy for Devin Haney, like this was easy for Lomachenko. And then there's Keyshawn Davis, who is number 4 of the IBF. Will Lomachenko fight him? I know Lomachenko is a warrior, and he's always taken on tough challenges, but if he doesn't fight the mandatory and William Zepeda next, if Shakur Stevenson and the winner of Berinchik and Berinchik and Navarrete take a while to get a fight sorted, is Lomachenko going to fight somebody like a Keyshawn Davis, like a Raymond Muratala? Is he going to fight? Yeah, I'm not sure about this, because this fight, last thing I'll say on this fight, it took a long time for Lomachenko to get back in the ring. I was thinking in the lead up that if you believe that you beat Devin Haney as much as you do, I mean, I thought he beat Devin Haney, and almost most of the fan base thought that you won that fight, but you chose to take as much time off as you did because of what's going on in your country. So I'm not judging him for it at all. I respect him for it, but it did make me think, how much does Vasyl Lomachenko want to keep on fighting? Because he's that type of competitor who doesn't want to play second place. He wants to be in there to be the best in the world. And he is going to have to walk through an inferno to get to another world championship. So I just don't know how this is going to go for him, because again, he wasn't fighting a guy who was going to test him at this stage of his career, and he wouldn't have tested any version of Lomachenko. The thing is, guys like Shakur Stevenson, guys like Zepeda and Keyshawn Davis, etc., they would have tested Lomachenko from a few years ago. They are certainly going to test him now. So what's going to happen there is, when will Lomachenko be back in the ring? Who will he fight next? Will it be a unification? Will it be one of these other top challengers? Will the Keyshawn Davis fight be offered because Bob Arum has him under, because he's not nearing the end of his contract yet like Shakur Stevenson is, and Bob Arum will try to get Keyshawn Davis to be the one to retire Lomachenko? A lot of questions here, a lot of what ifs. The lightweight division is super stacked, and it was great to watch Lomachenko do his thing. I've always loved watching him fight. I have massive respect for him. He is one of the best fighters we've ever seen. So I really look forward to what is next. Drop your thoughts down below about who you think is next. Who do you think Lomachenko is going to fight? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. As always, catch you guys later.